What up, though? What up, though, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Chopping It Up with Uncle Sean, the podcast. I am your host, Uncle Sean. Hope everybody's doing well. Yeah. Today on the podcast, we're going to talk about greatness. We're going to talk about the greatness of black people. Why are we talking about the greatness of black people? Because, as you know, there's been an effort to erase our history. There's been a effort to bury the truth. There's been an effort to minimalize. Did I say that right? If I didn't, you know what I'm talking about. Minimalize our contributions to this country. And we have to do what our ancestors did and keep things alive with oral tradition. We have to talk about it. The greatness of the things that we've accomplished in this country should be talked about around the dinner table, in the barbershop, in the beauty salon, sitting on the bus, the subway, riding to work together, working next to each other. Because what are we talking about every day? Bullshit, mostly. We talking about uh Diddy and 50 and people like that don't mean nothing to us regular people. Now let me say this. I identify myself as a foundational black American. Now, in the past, I've identified myself as African American, probably some other stuff too. I can't think of right now. But that's beside the point. But when I heard the term foundational black American, I was like, oh, here we go again. But then when it was explained to me, I said, that makes sense. So what a foundational black American is simply a black person whose lineage goes back in this country since the foundation. If you can trace your lineage back to slavery, you're a foundational black American. Some people can trace their lineage back before slavery. I mean, well, not before. I mean, before the 1870 census is what I was trying to say. Some people can trace their lineage before the 1870 census. Now, there's been a lot of talk about delineation and basically separating ourselves from the other immigrants, even the black immigrants. And I'm going to go a little bit into that because I think that's important that we talk about that a little bit too for those who are not up on it. But I myself, who have been cool with African immigrants and also have had beef with them, you know, Now I'm gonna say some stuff. I'll just keep it real. I'm talking to the family here. I'm not gonna pull no punches. I ain't gonna try to be politically correct or whatever. I've noticed, me personally, that I get along with certain African immigrants from certain places better than others. For instance, I know some cats from Ghana, very cool, very brotherly acting brothers. I know a family that has a restaurant, and they're from Senegal. Wonderful people. But 9 times out of 10, if I and there's gonna be a lot of people that agree with me because I've said this out and about, having conversations, and people have been like, you know what, you're right. Those damn Nigerians, some scamming, mean, shifty, some of my guns. Yep. If I get into it with one of them and I ask them, where you from? I'm from Nigeria. 9 times out of 10. Anyway, somebody gonna probably get mad at me about that, but hey, my experience is my experience. It's just like, anything else. But back to the subject at hand. A lot of immigrants come over here, and the first thing that they do, and I've experienced this, is they separate themselves from us regular black people, us foundational black Americans. They are told not to deal with us. They are told to stay away from us. They are told all kinds of bad things about us. We're criminals, with this, with that. And they do. They do separate themselves from us. And then they do just like every other immigrant group. They open up businesses in our neighborhood because that's the only place where they're allowed to do it. And then they want your money. And they want your money and they want the right to talk disrespectfully to you. So now, black people will be like, you know what? We've had enough of all of these groups, all of these people who come over here and believe the hype against us and use us for our paper and disrespect us. And then when we need help, nobody comes to our rescue. Nobody's out there getting beat down with us. So now we're like, okay, everybody hold your own nuts. Simple as that. Simple as that. It's no beef. We don't hate you. We're just saying, hey, handle your business. I'm not finna step in front of ICE for you. What have you done for me besides talk down, talk shit, think you're better than? When you really are looking at the greatest people on the face of the earth, who's greater than foundational black Americans? Recognized, often imitated. We the shit. Ain't no doubt about it. Everybody who hates us tries to talk like us, tries to walk like us, tries to dress like us. We set the goddamn trends. Ain't nothing popping until we say it's popping. We hold basically the most of the world in the palm of our hand and don't even know it because of too many of us still with the slave mentality because we have uh low self-esteem deep down. And let me talk about that for a minute. While I'm scrolling through social media, scrolling through I like watching the little reels and stuff. So I go to TikTok and this one called Scoops and Facebook Reels and the excuse me, the YouTube Shorts. And in a lot of these videos, I'm seeing something that is kind of disturbing when I think about it. I'm scrolling through and I'm seeing a lot of women in their underwear, staring into the camera, shaking their thighs and trying to look seductive and turning around, showing they behind, whether it's big, little, or none, or non-existent. Some of them bend over and start twerking or whatever you want to call it. And it's one thing for a 18 to 28 or 29-year-old young person who still probably don't know who they are yet to do stuff like that. But when you see 35, 40, 50, 60-year-old women standing up there in their drawers like that, whether they look good or not, have you ever thought about, because my mother's no longer here. And my mother was a nice looking lady. But I couldn't imagine scrolling through TikTok or Scoops and seeing my mom standing up there in her drawers. Do you know how that would make me feel? you know, for real. So think about that before you do that. You probably got a grown son or daughter or a nephew or niece, and they scroll through and see, oh, damn, mama, mama, and now anybody who happened to scroll through is seeing you in your drawers. Hey, anyway, it ain't even like you selling drawers. If you were selling underwear, that'd be. But you just standing up there trying to, I guess, thirst trap. I don't know what it is. I mean, I don't know what the purpose of it is, but you know, but we gotta look at ourselves as being greater because a lot of times we set up and we talk about all the ills of society and mainly the black community. Oh, the violence and the drugs and the this, the that. And a lot of times you don't hear nobody talking about no solutions. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't have the solutions. I have some ideals. And I think one thing would be that we start changing the conversations that we have. I think we need to start talking about higher things, things with a higher frequency, and stop dealing in this low frequency shit. There's so much more than we can be discussing than what the hell Will and Jada doing. Or that this entertainer or that entertainer is taking it up the behind, or this one is going to jail, or this one over here is getting a divorce. Who cares? I can't stand when somebody come telling me about what some motherfucking celebrity doing. I don't give a fuck. Not that I don't like celebrities, but I only want to hear about the movie they in, or the song they made, or the album that's coming out, or whatever. Whatever that some of my gun is doing in his or her uh leisure time, I don't give a fuck. I don't care about Puff Daddy beating up a bitch that was staying around after she got beat up. I don't care about none of that shit. What I care about is seeing a better day for my people. What I care about is having that feeling of brotherhood and sisterhood again. I remember when I was a little boy in the 70s, growing up in Detroit. And my father, whenever we was driving, going somewhere, and I remember all the brothers just throwing up the peace sign to each other all the time. Just don't know each other. Hey, we go to the barber shop, and man, they be in there talking grown man talk. And now, shit, you go to the barber shop now, they first of all, they want $1,000 for a haircut. And then you might get robbed. Oh yeah. They will come in and lay the whole barbershop down. Cause they know everybody in there got some cash in their pocket. But this is Michigan, so you might not make it out. Anyway, yeah, we gotta start talking about things that are going to uplift us instead of down press us. Now, I want to talk about greatness. The list of inventions that black people are responsible for are the things that make your life livable. Air conditioning unit, Frederick M. Jones. Who don't love air conditioning? Man, I love me some motherfucking air conditioning. Everybody like air conditioning. Everybody like it. You need it. Shit. Can you imagine living down in Florida with no air conditioning or out in Arizona? Shit. Black man invented that. White folks. Um, the blood plasma bag. Charles Drew. Everybody. Somebody in your family, if not you, has had use of that. White tea people. Uh, listen. What? Look. Think about this one right here. The fire escape ladder. Joseph W. Winters. He invented the fire escape ladder. You know how many lives that saved? So, listen, this is just something I looked up. It took me less than a minute. Let's talk about this type of shit. Let's change the conversation from the neighborhood highlights and the stupid nigga playoffs and start talking about uh who invented the lawn sprinkler. John Smith. John H. Smith. Hey, brother. Who invented the lunch pail? James Robinson. Shit. He invented the lunch pail in 1887 when he probably wasn't even allowed to have no damn lunch. Shit. Really? Real talk? The mailbox. Paul L. Downing. 1891. Could he even get any mail in 1891? Shit. That's how bad we've been treated, but guess what? In spite of everything that's been done to us and that they continue to do, we still make strides. We still invent things. We still can walk around with our head up. We still the shit. Yeah. And for you to walk around and disrespect yourself, being who you are, that's the disgrace. Look, you already see that money don't mean you got no class. Look at the president. Is there a person with less class than him? But it's not many people with more money. So it ain't about how much money you got. It's about how you carry yourself. There's no need to walk around ignorant. We got to start being that family again. That you know, because it's us against the fucking world. Even the other black folks from around the world, a lot of them don't like us. And if something was to really go down, these motherfuckers, we can't depend on them. We don't know. Yeah, some of them is okay and riders, but shit, they can't even get along with themselves over there in the motherland. They over there fighting amongst each other with these tribes. They got whole countries and still don't run shit. with all the resources in the world. Listen, listen, come on now. Let's just be real. If foundational black Americans, if the American black man, if we had one state to ourselves, that shit would be the shit. Within 10, 15 years, it'll be the shit. It will be the shit. Because that's what we do. When we're given a little, we make it look good. Now, are there some of us that ain't hitting on nothing? Of course. Of course. Are there some of us that need to be left behind? Of course. But the overwhelming majority of black people are hardworking people, are fundamentally good people who just want to be able to take care of themselves and their family and live a decent quality of life in peace, safety, and security. And anyone who tries to stop that is your enemy. Anybody who tries to undermine that is your enemy. But we must get back into the history of ourselves because we have a rich and deep history that goes to the very foundation of this country. And there's a reason why we're so revered yet hated. And when you start digging into history and history's mysteries, you will discover for yourself why that is. I don't think it's my place to tell you. I got a brother that I'm going to bring on. He going to tell you. Yeah, he going to tell you. He going to tell you why we so hated, but yet we've done nothing but help society. And we've been placed in situations where it's just like anybody. If you put somebody in a situation where they're having trouble meeting their basic needs of food, shelter, clothing, etc., they're going to do whatever they have to do or what they feel they have to do in order to meet those needs. And the people who put you in that position, they know this. Because when they're put in that position, they behave the same way. And if you don't believe me, go to your local trailer park on a warm Saturday night. Trust me, you'll see and hear some shit with a different vernacular than you're used to hearing. But yeah. So don't you never think that you acting the way you're supposed to act when you're acting ignorant and when you're doing things that you know deep down inside is not becoming of a young lady or a young man or older lady or older man. Let's start back speaking to each other when we walk by each other. Let's start back holding the door open for women. Let's start back being courteous to one another. Let's Teach our kids not to curse in front of adults. That's our history. Let's circulate our dollars amongst each other. Why do you think there was a candy lady in the neighborhood when there was a damn store probably not too many blocks away? People tried their best to circulate their dollars amongst each other. We have a rich history, and we need to start talking about our history with each other and get off of some of this bull. This was not a lecture. This was a conversation with my people. And the people, the other folks that might come across this and listen, welcome. Because I'm not saying nothing that I wouldn't say to your face. This has been Chopping It Up with Uncle Sean, the podcast. It has been my pleasure. Been my pleasure. And if you agreed with or disagreed with anything I said, like, share, subscribe. Because it just doesn't matter, because it's all the same.